what do you think Mike is going to bring to this team?
I think everybody's role changes depending upon what team they are. But he's played for good teams, played for good coaches, shown the ability to shoot the ball, make good decisions. And I think he's relatively diverse on the defensive end. So, we'll see.
I saw the release about Jalen. How is he doing? He posted the one picture yesterday of his face pretty swollen. How's he doing, and what kind of...
What the caption say?
Things said like mask incoming or something like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. He seems to be doing okay. Seems to be in good spirits.
And Marcus, where are things at with him?
I was on the court a little bit today just to kind of test out his range of motion and change of direction. I didn't get an update on how that went, but seems to be progressing, relatively good.
Do you have any sense, I know you're a big day-to-day guy in general, but...
Yes, we're all day-to-day.
We are, but do you have any sense on when he might be able to return or maybe take the next step, like playing?
No.
You just wait and
yes.
They tell you?
I purposely don't want to know so I don't have to lie to you guys. I have no idea.
Okay, fair.
What about the other guys who are on the injury report? You got Al, Malcolm, Rob, those guys. Are they going to play?
Rob is, Malcolm is, and Al's out.
Al is out.
Yes.
Joe, you mentioned Mike's defense. Obviously, you play a bunch of different schemes on that end. How do you see him potentially fitting into some of the schemes you have on that end and different guys you play at that position already?
Yeah, I think because of his shooting, he has the ability to pair up with any one of our bigs, and so I think it'll just depend on the matchup. His numbers are good in drop defense. He's shown the willingness and the confidence to want to switch. And so I think it'll just depend on who he's out there with and what the matchup is, depending upon if he'll be in drop or switching.
Hey, Joe. I know you talked about him the other night, but can you talk about Derek's play and the steadying influence and the positive execution he makes for the team?
Yeah, it was just a really good mindset, because he didn't quit on the play. He tried to make a really good read, but turned it over and didn't hang his head, just sprinted back on defense and made an unbelievable play. And so he's really grown as a defender in our system since he got here, from a guy that's kind of a, guard this guy and don't get screened and make it difficult for him to where he still does that. And his switching has really improved and his off-ball activity has really improved. And I think, because of his ability to rebound defensively, our rebounding numbers are good. So he's just really learned how to have an effect on all areas of defense, which makes us a dynamic team.
Joe, when it comes to Al and his knee, that swelling, have you guys identified a source of that swelling? What's the level of concern there? And was targeting a guy like Muscala on the trade deadline, a big who can shoot, any sort of response to Al and the knee issue?
I have no idea what's going on with his knee. I told you I don't ask because I don't want to have to tell you guys anything wrong, so I have no idea.
This is obviously your first in-season trade where you're getting a player in as a head coach. How do you kind of go through the process of getting up to speed on Muscala's game and how to use him? How much do you go into the tape? How did you go about that?
I think you rely on our staff. Each staff member has an individual guy that they work with, and we communicate every day kind of what each role and kind of where each guy will help us on both ends of the floor. Our assistants did a good job meeting with him today, just kind of going over, where he'll be defensively based on who he's playing with and kind of what actions we'll be looking to run when he's in the game. And also depends on, just going over those concepts, who's guarding you, what's the coverage, how can you help us create a 2-on-1. So I think just going over those concepts and our assistants do a great job with that.
Joe, Jalen got hurt with friendly fire with Jason's elbow. Do you talk to Jason about, or do they kind of settle that? Not that there's any issues, but just in terms of Jason feeling bad or any kind of feelings about that. Do you let them, or you pull Jason aside? I mean, obviously he probably feels some bad about obviously what happened.
I mean, they're good friends and they're teammates, so I'm sure they talked about
it. Have you directly talked to Jalen?
Yes.
Okay. So he did pick up your call eventually?
He did.
He did, okay.
Yes. Thank you.